I suddenly got a, a bug in my stomach. I woke up, this was in 2018. I woke up in September one day and just like felt this super pain in my stomach. It was up in the solar plexus area. And I went to the bathroom and I couldn't recognize my stool. It has a bunch of bubbles in it. I was like, how is this possible? And I just had the biggest pain. And
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to another beautiful episode of Happiness from Within. For those of you that are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited. I have a really beautiful, incredible guest. I'm so excited to introduce her. Her name is Kristina Borgestad, and I actually have her here. She's going to be sharing her incredible, incredible healing journey through the medical medium protocols. And I'm sure we'll be talking about other really amazing things, but I actually have her here on the line. Hi, Kristina.
hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here and connecting with more people, and it's all about sharing. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm good. I'm so excited. We have been planning to do this for such a long time, and now we finally we're doing it.
Absolutely. Everything in divine timing. Sometimes, a lot of times in life, right, we want certain things. We want the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the house, the apartment, the thing, right? But sometimes it's not our timing. It's God's timing, divine timing, right? So this is the perfect
Absolutely.
timing that this was meant to happen. So
Yes. And I am now 31, and I just turned 31, and it's like finally I feel like my 30s are the years for me. Like I have been marinated kind of in this sauce for such a long time, and now it's the time for me to share with more people like my life experiences and everything. And I have been through so much, and I think God is using me as a tool for giving people hope out there, because I know it's hope and I have seen it myself. And I have been like dealing with everything under the sun. Not the worst things. For example, I know a guy that's have Parkinson's. I don't, or are in a wheelchair. I can walk. I have everything. I have my body. I can do stuff. So I'm really blessed, but I have been struggling as well. So definitely.
wow.
Mm.
Thank you. I really felt that. That was really, really deep. So tell our audience, what part of the world are you calling in from today?
Oh yes, I am from Norway, and I am in this town called Tromsø. It's where the Northern Lights are. It's so many people visiting Tromsø around the world, and it's just a blessing to getting to know people, actually just meeting up. And so it's, for example, I don't know, have you heard about couch surfing?
Yeah, I have.
Yes, so people have stayed at my place actually from Brazil and other places, and it's just yeah, it's so cool. So I have been talking to so many people around the world already, because everybody is coming to Tromsø to see Northern Lights, and also midnight sun. We have that now, so it's light all day long and 24/7. And in the wintertime we have it's just dark 24/7, so you get a little crazy. But by living here, you people get humbled by the nature, and we have more like, we don't take ourselves so seriously up here, especially. And but more in South Norway, it's more of another culture again. So it's really interesting how, because I've been living in South as well, and but the past 20 years I've been living up here. So, but I definitely feel that my soul is more from here than South. Mm.
Oh, that's beautiful. I personally learned something new today. I had no idea that. I thought the Northern Lights were only in Alaska, so I would love to come to
Oh,
Norway to visit you. That would just be static.
absolutely. You come and visit me. And yeah, it's such a beautiful, like we have the most beautiful nature here. So we have mountains and we have, yeah, we have it all here, you know, except like we could have more beautiful weather though. But I'm really blessed to be living in Norway. So it's one of the richest countries in the world, actually. So I have a lot of privileges that other people don't. Um, but again, you can't control where you're gonna get born, what kind of family you're gonna get born into and stuff. So, and I have definitely, my soul, I think, has definitely chosen or got chosen, I think, also. Um, Someone actually also chose me to come to my family that I was born into as well. So it hasn't been the easiest, but I have the most beautiful mom though. She is such a fighter. So I think I have learned so much from her as well. So
That's wonderful. So, let's go back to let's take us back to your childhood. What was it like growing up? Did a lot of your health issues start in your younger years, or was it more later when you were a teenager? Like, let's talk a little bit about the health aspect.
yes, okay. So I was born a pretty healthy girl. But I struggle with pollen allergies, allergies with pollen and flowers, and like I had the hardest time growing up in South Norway at the summertime, especially because that was hell for me. I couldn't be much outside because I got so allergic. So I was most of the time inside. So that's where I also learned, I loved to draw, and I found passion in drawing as a young kid. And also I was playing a lot of video games and I did puzzles, I did all of the creativity. I love to dance, I was really outgoing child, but also really sensitive as well. And but yeah, I struggle with allergies, and also in my teens I struggled with acne. I got acne when I was 14 years old, and that was when I got my period for the first time as well. So, and then suddenly I got acne, and then I began on birth control pills to stop the acne. But now I know better, and it's all about strep. So also allergies. Now I know from, the medical medium information that allergies and acne and so on is from strep. And my parents also struggle with acne, especially acne. And my dad also struggled with allergies. So we thought that was, you know, I got it from his DNA in a way. So, but I know better now because I have actually managed to heal some of the allergies, and not completely, but it's so much better. Also, my acne is so much better as well. Um, but yeah, about my childhood, I was like personally as I was really quiet as well. And I also had few friends as well, because I wasn't the most popular. I was really not popular at all at school. I was so shy, you know. Most people didn't notice me, and many in my class didn't even know my name. And so I also, I moved a lot, also because my parents, they split up, and they had a pretty turbulent relationship. So, and I'm really happy that they split up, because it was like living in, yeah, a war in a way, because they were fighting all the time. So as a teenager as well, I remember when I was 17 years old, I went to the psychologist for the first time, and she, she diagnosed me with PTSD, actually, because I had been through so much, trauma with my family as well and stuff, and also at school, because I was moving a lot, and I was often the new kid in the class, and I didn't speak much, and I was pretty fast, like bullied as well, as yeah, because I was such a like a catch for bullies to take advantage, because I didn't have much people around me to stand up for me and so on. So so I struggle with allergies, acne, but also the mental part as well. So yeah, so that is just to sum it up in like a short. mm,
Well, just listening
so
to you talk, I mean, it definitely, it's a lot of trauma, and that's a lot to go through as a kid, right? It's like, it's one thing
mm,
to be bullied, but then having to starting to deal with these chronic issues, right? Like acne and
mm,
self-esteem
yeah,
issues, and then,
oh yeah.
the strep, and it's a lot, right? And then you started your period
Mm,
pretty young, and so you're going through puberty, and then you're trying to deal with things in your family, and then things at school, and then you're trying to maybe take care of yourself, right?
yes, I really did. I really did. And also we were I saw that my friends, my girlfriends, they were really, they were so into the way they looked, and also I got into that. And when I had such a bad acne, I also, by the way, I also had like the baddest like eczema around my nose as well. It was really horrible, and like also trying to put makeup on all the time, like really oily skin, and I felt so ugly most of the time because of my skin and my skin issues. And I was a really late bloomer as well to I was 18 when I had my first kiss, so it took some time to figure out how to handle my skin and my self-esteem and so on. And it did help me as well, because after some years as well, after high school, um, I I went to this school for a year, and it was supposed to be the best year of my life, but it ended up to be one of the worst years of my life, because at that school I was attacked by this guy, a student there actually, and he hit me. And after that, I was terrified of him, but the school didn't do much to prevent him or like help him or me that much. And after that, so I started to lose my hair, and the hair was actually the only thing that made me like getting compliments for, because I had really thick hair and shiny long hair, and I was known for that. And suddenly my hair started to fall out, and my identity as a woman, it just crumbled. So I was 19 at that point, and 1920 I lost almost all of my hair. So I started that year actually wearing a wig. I'm really happy that my hair is yeah, it's back now. But I can lose some spots sometimes when I'm really stressed, for example. So after that evidence, I definitely started to looking up on health. So as a really young woman, I really wanted to understand what happened to me and why I suddenly started to lose hair. I saw a link between the stress and so on, but they just said that no, your body is attacking itself and so on. And I knew better. I knew it was something else there. So it kind of started, especially then, to like, what could I eat to get my hair better? What could I is there some shampoos I could use, or what is it? And luckily the hair came back when I was finished with that school and I was home again and I was in a safe environment. Then my hair came out and I was so happy, but it has never been the same. So it's much thinner now, but I am really happy that I have hair. So yeah.
Wow. You're so beautiful. You know, so if
Oh,
somebody
thank you.
sees you on the outside, we never know what people go through, right? Because we put on this mask, right? And just getting to know you, it's just really beautiful just hearing more of your story. It's like, wow.
Oh, thank you
Um,
so much.
yeah, you're welcome. So let's talk about your medical medium journey of how did you find medical medium? What year was that?
Oh yeah, that was actually back in the first time I heard about Anthony. That was back in 2016, and so I heard a podcast called Inspire Nation. I don't know if you've heard about that podcast, but he is interviewing people. This guy on Inspire Nation is interviewing people who's really spiritual. I've always been really spiritual as a person, and I just always been drawn to people talking about spirituality. I'm not religious or anything, uh, but I always known it's something bigger out there. So, but yeah, so so when I heard this episode with Medical Medium, he was talking about fruits and everything, and I was then going into this lifestyle called wheat belly. It's kind of a keto diet thing, and I heard eating grains and stuff that could make your hair fall off, and that actually could be behind alopecia, and that was what I was diagnosed with back in 2011. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna eat any grains again. And and this doctor, because this was a doctor who was behind this theory, wheat belly, because so many people saw that their skin cleared up when they cut out the wheat and so on. And also, like, he was telling us also about not eating fruit because that made everything worse, but you could go really low with the fruits, but eat a ton of seeds, nuts, oils, the healthy ones, and eggs. That's really big, that's a good thing. And so I started to do all of this in 2016 because I was really like, when I heard Medical Medium's interview, I was like, this is interesting. And I actually put a note on my phone to get the book one day, but I didn't, because at that point I was moving to Sweden to study classic realistic art. So I was really occupied with just the school and trying to cut out wheat and gluten, So, and I actually saw results. My skin suddenly started to clear up, and I was like so freaking like happy because I found the solution. I saw the light, and I was like, wow, this is not good for me to eat gluten. And I saw that when I ate bread or something, I started to get pimples. But now I saw the link, and that was so but after 2 years with this low carb, high fat diet that I actually was on, I suddenly got a, a bug in my stomach. I woke up, this was in 2018. I woke up in September one day and just like felt this super pain in my stomach. It was up in the solar plexus area. And I went to the bathroom and I couldn't recognize my stool. It had some bunch of bubbles in it. I was like, how is this possible? and I just had the biggest pain. And I remember I was hiking actually that day. I was thinking, no, this pain is gonna go away and so on, but it didn't. So I went to the doctor, took some tests, and he said, you have H. pylori. And I said, okay, what is that? Okay, you have to get rid of this bacteria, Kristina. If not, you can have this ulcers. Isn't that what it's called? Like this. Yeah. So I freaked out, and I was, okay, what can I do to stop this? And he said, you have to take some antibiotics for this problem. And so I did. It was 10 days with this super strong antibiotics. He said it was actually kind of made for horses. It was super strong. But he said, this is the only thing you can do. So you have to just take it. And I did. And that was actually, I was finishing the last days with this antibiotics when I went back to Sweden to do my last year with this classical realistic art, so I could have my bachelor degree. And but yeah, after that, the pain went away. That was really nice. But the bubbles in the stool went away as well. But I kept having diarrhea all the time. Every time I ate something that, a salad, an egg, now we know that's really not a good idea to eat when you have, bugs in your system. But I didn't know better, and I thought that the things I'm eating now is supposed to be healthy, like chicken and fish. And how could this make a big problem? I mean, it's, yeah. So I was really scared for some months there, because suddenly I saw my tongue started to get like white-ish, just white. My whole tongue was white. And also I couldn't feel that I have any saliva in my mouth. I didn't have any spit in my mouth. And I freaked out, and because what is going on? And then also, if I cut myself by accident, it wouldn't grow. The heel wouldn't, the cuts won't heal. So that was really freaky. And also I began to feel like tingles and numbness throughout my body, especially one toe on my right foot wouldn't stop tingling, and it was constant. And also some weeks later, I could just wake up in the middle of the night not feeling my body, half of my body actually, and it was super numb. And I know when your foot is asleep, that feeling, but all over your body. And I just was thinking, this is not normal at all, and I was freaking out. And I also started to be super tired. I didn't have any energy suddenly, and I always had a bunch of energy before. So with all of the symptoms coming, and also migraines, I never had a migraine attack in my life. I had been experiencing a really bad headaches before and stuff, but migraines, like so bad that I almost puked with the pain of the intense pain in my head. And also crazy thoughts started to develop. Like I was thinking so much about taking my life suddenly, and I knew it was me. It was like, I know it was my body telling me something is up. You have something you need to change, because this is, if not, you're going down. I just knew it in my soul. And so I started to go to doctors in Sweden. They couldn't help me. They didn't know anything. They was like, they couldn't even give me a diagnosis, nothing. Luckily, when I got home to Norway for holiday, my doctor took me really seriously, and he has been my doctor since I was 13. When we moved to Tromsø, me, my mom, and my brother. So he has seen me for so many years, and he knew that also, that this was not okay. And so I went to check, a scan, like to scan my body, because it was like tingling and numbness throughout my body all the time and stuff. So, but they couldn't find anything. So, and he couldn't understand why I had diarrhea all the time. He said it could be because you took antibiotics, but it should be better after a year. But it wasn't better after a year, and then so I started to give up hope, because I had searched up on Google. I tried it all. There was one thing that actually helped a little bit, and that was oregano oil. Then I started to see some results on my stomach that was getting a little bit better, but still it was a mess. But I saw something was happening with oregano oil, but I didn't know more. And then so it was around summertime in Sweden, or May, back in 2019. I had prayed the week before for answers. I remember I was so devastating, and things actually worked out pretty good at school. For some reason, I was just so stubborn. I'm gonna get my degree, whatever it takes. I'm gonna do it. But then after I've done it, get my diploma, I'm gonna figure out what's going on in my body. So, but I was praying, I remember, and like, please, angels, if somebody can hear me, I need answers, because I can't live like this. Seriously, this is not the way to live. And then suddenly, it didn't took long, and I went to this store to get some manuka honey, because I've heard that manuka honey was so good and so healing for your stomach and so on. And so I asked the guy there I think I have something called IBS or SIBO. I have read about that because I have diarrhea all the time, and it's like everything I eat, it's just not working out. So, and then he said like, okay, yeah, honey is really good for you. Buy this. And then I went out from the store, and then he came after me. He ran after me and was like, hey, stop you. He was like yelling, like, hey, screaming in Swedish. And I was like, okay, what's going on? And he gave me a note, and it said medical medium, you know? Yeah. So,
Wow.
yes, yes. So, and I actually, some days before, I had heard him talk on this, call it dive in timing, I had heard him talk about celery juice on this show called Food Revolution. I listened to Food Revolution the last year, and I got some good tips there. It's just 3 interviews every day with the best doctors and scientists and people, and like spiritual people as well, and like 3 interviews every day for 9 days. And so medical medium was on, and he was talking about celery juice, and it could reverse IBS. And I was like, I think I have that, but I haven't had the diagnosis. And then I started on my birthday, because my birthday is May the 10th. I started drinking my first celery juice. I bought a juicer, and so ever since, I've been drinking celery juice now for over 3 years now.
So take us back. So you take your first glass of celery juice, and you, at that point, did you just feel like spirit, higher source was like, did you just feel that, okay, you felt like, okay, maybe you felt like, okay, this is the answer, like I'm moving in a positive direction? Or what was going on in your mindset during that time?
Yeah, because I experienced the craziest detox symptoms, but at the same time I felt good. I didn't have more of the really depressed thoughts. The heaviness was more lifted a little bit. So I understood that it was something in the celery juice that did something. And then I hadn't really learned about the detox, and I thought it was also, I was a little bit freaked out because I was more to the toilet as well. I already had diarrhea all the time. So when now I had like twice as much diarrhea. Mm. But I also learned about the 369 as well. So I also did my first original 369, and I was so expecting to be better after that. But it has taken me so much longer because I didn't understand quite how the liver really worked. So I still ate some meat, and I still ate some chicken, and chicken and fish, and I was really afraid of losing B12 and my energy, but I already had no energy. So I didn't have anything to lose so I cut out for real the meat and stuff in 2020. So it took some time before I really understood I had a liver issue. I also had some adrenal issues as well. So because I also lost my libido as well, and the sex drive, it was just completely gone. So but it didn't matter because I didn't have any boyfriend at that time. But I did actually get one in 2019, right before the pandemic started. So that he was, in many ways, I needed him. I definitely learned a lot in that relationship, but in the end, it was not the best for me. But he made me laugh and stuff and forget a little bit about my problems as well. So so to also heal, you need also to relax more and to have more faith. And so, but it has been really tough years, to be honest with you, to get where I am today. So yeah.
Wow, bravo. That's incredible. So I'm curious to know, when you started on medical medium, obviously everybody's body's different, but how long did it take for your diarrhea to go away?
Well, yes, it can be sometimes, even now, but it's so much more firm, if you know what I mean. It looks better, especially I wished I actually started on the mono cleanse that I in the beginning, but I didn't know about the mono cleanse in 2019. But in cleanses to heal, then I learned about the mono cleanse. So I've been doing that, especially now this year, a lot. So that has helped my diarrhea. But I see that every time I do a 369, more toxins are released from from my liver. So then it gets more crazy again. So but it's just toxins trying to leave, and it's a good thing. So I just see that it's a big and a good thing now to actually have a little bit of diarrhea now, especially when I'm detoxing. But potatoes has definitely helped me just slow down the toxins and yeah, the liver heat. Mm.
Wow. Your story is so incredible. And it's just like, wow. My heart is just filled with so much like joy right now. I'm crying at the same time.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Wow. So for our audience that's listening, as you continue to go through your medical medium journey, what are what are some steps that you would say to somebody that's just really struggling right now?
Mm.
One, two, or three steps, just anything in your heart to motivate this person that's listening right now.
Yeah.
A lot of our
Um,
audience is women, but we do have men too that listen. But yeah, just anything you'd love to share.
yeah. Okay. I actually want to share something that happened today. This guy, he contacted me out of the blue, and just he struggled with Lyme disease, and he called me on my phone today, and just we talked. I was a little busy when he called me, but we chatted. We talked for 10 minutes ish, and he was so real and just opening up, and just I've tried everything. My family, my everything is falling apart here, and he cried, and I cried, I just because I really felt his yeah his sorrow and his pain and so on, and it was just really hard. But suddenly, I I gave him some hope. He said that thank you so so much for like being here and sharing your tips, and my tips is definitely just try to understand medical medium information, try to go on, try to I'm sorry, we have some, I think we have some visitor here. So I'm a little distracted here. But please go on and read medical medium information. Try to do a cleanse and reach out to people who are in the same situation as you, because you can find them everywhere in this community. And you can definitely, if you as a listener don't have a hope or something, you can reach out to me. And if you have some of the same symptoms that I have dealt with, tingles and numbness, that stopped, that is completely gone from me. Yeah, so, and that was thanks to especially cat's claw. That's a wonderful herb. So I think I definitely had a virus inside of me that were creating these symptoms, because I've learned now that it's not bacterial. So but yeah, but please just have faith, and your prayers will be answered. Maybe not right away when you expect it, but it will come to you, I promise. I have prayed, and I didn't even really believed in prayers before I got sick, and then I didn't have any solution. So yeah, it's I really feel you out there, but it is absolutely hope, because I have healed things that I thought was never possible because my doctors couldn't help me. So but yeah, I will definitely just listen to a radio show. It's free, the information is free, so you can also borrow the books at the library. And yeah, it's definitely it's hope. Okay, hang in there.
Wow, what a beautiful message. So my last question to you before we wrap up is, what does happiness from within mean to you?
Wow, that's a beautiful, really beautiful question. I love it. I Happiness within is knowing your worth. And I I have been struggling with depression many times in my life, but every time I know more the truth, I am more light inside. So happiness is just like dancing or expressing myself, or yes, and I've seen you're such a great dancer. So I mean, you have some good moves. And just connecting. Happiness is being present with someone and just sharing. I feel that is the true happiness. And yeah, give you know
Wow. Wow. I'm really touched. I really love everything that you shared. My favorite part is when you said being present with somebody. We get so
Oh,
distracted on our phones,
oh
watching
yeah.
TV and like social media. Like just being here present with you is like such a gift. And I just want to thank you so much for just being a guest here on Happiness from Within. It was such a pleasure to have you. And
Oh,
definitely looking forward to some future episodes with you to see how your progress is. And yeah, just really want to thank you for being a guest here on Happiness from Within. And for
oh,
everyone that's listening, I'm going to actually put the link below so you can follow Kristina on Instagram. And I would like to put a link. I want to encourage her. I want you to check out, she has such an amazing drawings, and I want to encourage her to start charging for her services. But yeah, I'd love to put the link for that. And but yeah, please reach out to her. She shares amazing information on her Instagram channel, and yeah, medical medium. I can put the link for that below also. But please connect with Kristina. She's such an amazing human being. Learn about her, and anything else you'd like to add, Kristina, before we wrap up?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for everything and just being here with you and being a guest with you. I'm so I I'm so excited to do more interviews and updating you guys on my progress. I still have stuff to heal. But yeah, I am an artist and now I have more energy to create. And so it's and the last drawing I actually gave to, if you know about Gabriel Iglesias. He actually received my drawing. So this, and he actually started following me. It's like I've been such a big fan of his work now for the past 12 years. Made me laugh. Laughter is medicine. So yeah, I'm just so like starstruck by the whole thing there. Um, but yeah, I you will see more of me in the future. I have I'm a painter and I love to draw, especially portraits. So maybe I will draw you one day, Janet.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you
Mm.
so much. I really want to thank you again for being a guest here in Happiness from Within. And those of you, wherever you are in the world, please remember to smile because you are worthy and beautiful. Have a beautiful day.